Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Regina and Friends Crime Chat. I'm your host, Regina. Earlier, we have a woman that is very interested and been following everything on the Mica Miller case. And as you guys know, I'm very interested in um what you all have to say in these different cases because I like to get different feedback from different people. All right. I'd also like to give a shout out real quick, if I could, to our wonderful mods. They are amazing. I couldn't ask for better people. I appreciate them so much. Let's give it up for Low 12 and Miss Connie. Okay, so again, we're going back. Hey, Eddie, all things serious. Good to see you. Eddie, you should listen to this phone call real quick that I'm fixing to place. And come up and tell me what you think um, after this phone call. And hey, let's get Eddie's link up in chat, you guys, if I can.
Good afternoon, Regina.
Well, hello, Miss Bonnie. How are you?
Glad we finally connected.
Yes, me too. Me too. Um, we had a we had a few minutes to connect the other day when you called me when I was having lunch with
Uh-huh.
my kids. And I've been asking everyone's opinions and what they thought about these different cases and get their take on different cases. And we had a short phone call. I think it was about 13 minutes before, had to stuff my face with my kids. Um, but in your phone call, you wanted to talk about the Micah Miller case. And you said some things that I think is very important. I think we also learned about this kind of stuff going on with the Kansas moms, both of them that lost their lives.
Yeah.
Um, and we're uncovering this is more common than we think. I think with these cases, with the churches and everything. But let's start out from the beginning. Let's start out from the beginning. You
Okay.
said let's start where you said from about you think the feds need or someone needs to report certain things to the law enforcement.
Well, I think it would be wonderful um, for it would be like a clearinghouse where everybody brings the information that they have that's different than somebody else's, put it together and present it to the FBI because there's some incredible investigations going on out there by all of you YouTubers, bloggers, or podcasters, whatever you're called.
I guess. Well, I used to be a radio host. I used to have my own radio
Uh-huh.
show. It was called the Talking Smack with Regina show on Armed Radio. It was web based. So
I
I've
love
been
it.
a radio host before. Um, and done that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I'm kind of used to that
Yeah.
aspect of it. But this YouTube is completely new to me.
Well, me too. I'm almost 78. And the only reason that I know anything about this case is I've been in bed for 3 months with two broken bones in my right leg.
Yes, you
And
told me about
so,
that.
yeah, so I've just been taking notes and watching and listening, and just everybody has an opinion
Uh
and a
huh.
view of what they saw or what happened. But like I said, there's some incredible information out there that I just feel we need to make sure that whether Micah died or whether she committed suicide, Micah has not died in vain, according to my belief. And as long as it opens up all of this background crime that's been going on for generations in that um, area of the world,
Mhm.
I think that her life was not in vain, and she would probably do it all again. That's just
Right.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I think I mentioned it to you, Agatha May detective, and
Mhm.
she has 3 amazing hours of background information that the Charles Randall, the minister that is the mentor to JP,
Mhm.
and has been friends with JP's dad for I think decades. Um, he is, I don't know what he is, and I don't know how he got to be what he is, but he's got a big hand in the pie there. And his daughter worked in
Mhm.
the mental institute, the mental hospital where they had Mica committed against
Y-
her will.
Yes, you told me that.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, her name is Vanita,
Mhm.
and both um, both he and his wife had the same. She had the same married name as the husband she married, Charles Randall, and
Uh-huh.
so this Agatha followed back through the years and found that we still have one of the judges that belongs to this family um, in service now down there. It explains a lot of it where
Mhm.
JP got a lot of his bad records expunged, where he hit the young woman and going 100 miles an hour and went 5 or 8 more miles with her around the hood of his car. He was charged with it, but then that was taken away. Another young man that lives with JP's father, his name is Charles, and they've linked him to the fisherman because the fisherman that found Mica called him when at 1:26 or something about there when he found Mica, which seems a little odd. Well, then she kept tracing it back, and this Charles lives with JP's father. This Charles was put in prison for 8 years for molesting young men, little boys,
Mm.
and he got out of prison um, on some type of technicality that this legal system down there, however they did it.
Mhm.
I mean, it goes on and on and on. The more you dig, the deeper and uglier it gets,
Right.
and that is really upsetting to me. Um, I just, like I said, I listened to about 15 or podcasts,
Mhm.
and when you hear, well, I think one of the scriptures that was on one of the podcasts was it said that there's truth in 3 witnesses according to the Bible, and
Mhm.
when you hear things 2 or 3 times repeating the same thing, um, then that's when I pay attention.
Right. And what are some of the things you've seen three people or more repeat?
Well, let's go to the pawn shop. The Freedom Voice Online reports they believe she was gang stalked, and there were 2 other people prior to that was showing a young man dressed in black that was just wandering around after Mica came in, just close enough that he could hear what she was saying, but never really buying anything.
Right.
Well, now this Freedom Voice Online has carried it a step further, and he has found um, there was another young man in there in a green shirt who left right before Mica did, and went out the left door. Mica went out the front door, and he stood out there, and you could see him in the timestamp at the top of the video as he moved towards the outside door, but he never went out. Then after Mica went out, the door on the left, the automatic door, opened back up, but nobody came in. You can see in
Mhm.
the timestamp the green shirt where he was standing there waiting for her to get to her car.
Right. And you believe that it were people associated with JP Miller, either through the alligator bar, I do believe it's called, or whatever, or something like that. Alligator,
Yeah,
what's the name of it? I forget.
yeah, alligator rock.
Alligator Rocks,
Yeah,
yeah.
alligator.
Uh-huh. Do
Well,
you bel
it's yes, I do. I believe that a lot of people that he was involved with, and this Charles Randall, I think, is a big part of the picture. And he's a
Mhm.
pastor of another church. But Micah reported that she saw, and two of her friends have reported this as well as one of her sisters, that Micah saw them carrying bags of money from the bar to the church. And
Mhm.
she had reported to the IRS a lot of this before she died. And they had already opened up an investigation before her death.
So you're saying that Micah more or less saw them taking cash funds from the bar and possibly laundering the money through the church through tithes and offerings?
Yep, money laundering. And when you
Wow.
consider, yeah, that JP, his dad, and this other Charles Randall, they
Mhm.
own millions of dollars of
Mhm.
real estate. And this um, Agatha, yeah, Agatha May detective, in the three videos that she did, explains all the connections, and it's quite detailed. I mean, you really have to sit there and pay attention and even take notes if necessary.
Yeah.
Um, but I didn't realize that I was ever going to call you, and so I didn't take notes of her yesterday. But another thing too, JP's dad has the Cathedral Bible College,
Mhm.
and we all know that he's a sex offender. We all know that Pakistan is just laying in wait for him to ever show up again. And a group of the
I
young
didn't
men
know
over
that.
there, after you didn't,
No, I haven't done any research
well,
into that.
he went over there to start a church, and they're not getting any of the money. And he molested the young boys, and then quite a few students came to America to go to his Bible college,
Mhm.
and he used them like as slave labor, didn't pay them enough, threatened them if they didn't like it, they could go back where they came from. And here he is, a pastor with a Bible college.
Yeah.
And so that's why Pakistan is out to get him. And JP's dad also was arrested for um, showing himself in a bathroom to some man. It turned out to be a federal agent that arrested him. And a
Oh
lot of
my.
these charges, yeah, a lot of these charges keep getting removed, or just a slap on the wrist or whatever. And
Mhm.
I just think that's all wrong.
Mhm. Well, we know there's a lot of corruption out here.
Oh,
Um,
every place. Yeah,
everyone's got a price tag, it seems like nowadays. Um,
yeah.
so can I ask you a question?
You bet.
Do you think JP had multiple tracking devices on Micah's car allegedly because he had multiple
Oh,
people
absolutely.
following her?
Absolutely. Not only that, boy, I love the questions you ask. Not only did he have those devices on there, or someone else put them on there for him, the day after Micah died, he called and talked to Charlotte. Charlotte was one of her best friends. She lives up north, the direction of where the park was. And
Mhm.
she believes that JP made a slip when he said, I thought Mica was coming to see you. Well,
Mhm.
he would have had no way of knowing which direction Mica was going that day that she committed suicide if he wasn't tracking her. And so Charlotte went down and reported that to the FBI just pronto quick.
Mhm. Do you think that
So yes,
JP Miller or one of his people, maybe one of the people that he was having help him track Micah, do you think that it was one of those people that either him or JP himself transferred the money straight into Micah's account to set her up? Do you think that's a possibility in this case?
oh yes, oh absolutely yes. And also, I heard quite a lengthy talk yesterday about how you can get bruising after you die, a type of bruising. But her parents found handprints on one wrist and scratches on one arm. And very definitely, the mother came and walked over by the body, showed the husband or her
Mhm.
dad. She said, look, they held her arm up so she would shoot herself, and somebody else was on the other side and got involved, and she got scratches.
There are things in the Micah
And
Miller case that don't make sense to me, like one of the rounds found in the tree, a practice round. No, no,
yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either.
mm-mm. No, it doesn't make
Unless,
sense to me.
well, unless, I don't mean to be gruesome, but could this have gone through her into the tree?
I don't know.
I don't either, but
The
there were
family's
multiple
saying
casings.
that's what the family's saying. There was multiple casings, and there was a round in the tree.
Well, the problem with all of this, Regina, is that this corrupt legal system down there did not in any way investigate anything. Did they take any of those casings and see if they matched the gun? Did did they look for footprints or did they do anything? No, they just assumed because she was mental, and that's what JP had spread to everybody, that she was mental, that she had committed suicide. And they didn't look for anything. And when her parents went to the police and they had a sit down meeting, trying to clear the air, and the police were trying to, make peace with everybody. When the parents brought up this bruising, the is it the coroner or who inspects the body after it dies?
It would be the chief medical examiner, or the
There,
coroner.
right? Okay, the medical examiner had
Mhm.
no idea what they were talking about. They didn't examine her body. There was, they're now talking. I heard today about putting a time limit on cremation
Mhm.
because JP wouldn't let her parents see her body unless they agreed to have her cremated right away. And they had to sign papers.
Yeah, that's
He's sick. He's a sick, evil man.
yeah.
I'm
I
sorry.
think
I hope I don't.
I think there were 2 rounds fired from that gun because there was a struggle. I think that's why her purse was up by the bank. I think that's,
That
yeah.
could be. And that fisherman at 126 or, you know, someplace around there, I don't remember why the times are connected, but the fisherman called this man named Charles. And
Mhm.
he is a, a big player in all of this. He is, let's see, his real name is Robert Troy Taylor.
Mhm.
And he's the one I mentioned that was in prison for 8 years, and they somehow got him out after he killed. two people. Not
Right.
only was he molesting people, but he killed two people. And
I
so,
didn't know that either.
well, that's what I'm saying. There's just so much that everybody's just been digging up that it's just crazy, and it all leads back to the same place, and that is in the JP's lap, his father, and this Charles Randall, and
Hmm.
Charles Randall's family. Um, he ran for Congress or representative or some Senate something many years ago, and one of his opening statements when he was presenting himself to the voters was, "And I have never physically abused my wife." Now I haven't heard yet. We haven't dug into that, but where in the world did that come from on a political speech? First comment. I mean, it's just nonsense. Just nonsense.
Hmm.
And this fisherman, I wanted to mention that, he took her uh, little bag and he left with it. Why in the world would he do that? I mean, and it was 40 feet away from Mica, which I also understand that there was a log pressed up against her so that, like, whoever did it thought she wouldn't float. But the water was stagnant. It wasn't floating any place. There was no movement whatsoever in that little pond area.
Hmm.
And and then he leaves, and he made a call to this Charles fella, and then he comes back and gives the little purse to the police. Well, why didn't the police question him more? Why didn't they find out what in heaven's name did he take the purse for? Who else's fingerprints was on that purse? I mean, I'm not smart when it comes to these things, but some of it is just common sense. No matter how a person dies, you
Hmm.
just don't accept things that are sitting right in front of you unless you can prove it.
There's a big difference in bruising and extravasation.
Yes.
Um,
Was it you that had that yesterday?
I'm the one that, yeah, I did it. I covered it. I covered it in my last
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Micah
yeah.
Miller.
Okay.
Micah Miller, the dead don't bruise.
Right. That's how I found you.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Hmm.
There's a big difference. Absolutely. So I don't I don't really know. I just know there's a illegal activity. I know that JP's dad has this Bible college, and this Charles Randall, the other pastor, he went to school down there, and now they're finding out that college, that school at that time was not even legal to be passing out degrees that this man has flaunted around all these years. It's like all the good old boys. Everybody owes somebody something.
Right. Right.
And I did another thing I heard yesterday. Micah, before she died, gave 11 of her journals to her attorney, and she kept track of everything for multiple years, trying to justify, trying to get the courage to leave, even though it was against what she believed.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm a Bible believer, and it says in the Bible that the eyes are the light of the souls. And I just believe that you look at Micah, and I just see purity of heart, a woman that has repented, who is sorry for the things that she did. Um, even the things was out of control of her life because of JP's brainwashing and his control on her since she was 14 years old. And she wanted to do right, and I think those journals are going to help um, make her death that she didn't die in vain.
Right. Yeah. Can I ask you something else?
You bet.
Do you think that the FBI got involved so quickly because they found stuff going on in the church? Do you think that
Well, I do. They Somebody said the other day that the FBI got involved because the Carolinas asked them to be involved because it was two different counties, and it just was all convoluted. I don't believe so for 1 minute because Mica had contacted them before she died, and she had put it. I believe firmly. In fact, one of the things I first heard when they announced on the TV that this young woman had died in under suspicious conditions down in Carolina, and it was saying that she had delivered files, and evidently this is what they're talking about yesterday to her attorney before she died to prove everything, all of her accusations. Do you know that JP is coming on every night, and he's going to take one lie a night and present his side on how everybody's lying about him? And it's a big joke because I'm not watching it because I can't stand to look at him or listen to his voice. I lived in an abusive marriage for 20 years.
I'm sorry to
And
hear
then
that.
thank you, after 16 years, I remarried him. I thought he had changed, and he had pretty much. And then he got Parkinson's, and I took care of him for 9 years by myself, and then 3 more years with the care home help. Um,
I
and
would just
I'm
like I'm
still,
sorry. I'm sorry,
go
Bonnie.
ahead.
Give me just a second. I need to say hello to everyone in chat.
Oh, okay.
If I can keep a straight face and do it. Um, we have Connie S, our lovely mod, Low 12, our lovely mod. We have Willat Harris, our handsome mod, our gentleman mod. We have of course good old Nightbot, Crooked Arrow, Star 67. It's good to see you guys. Welcome. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miss Bonnie.
That's okay. After listening to all of this abuse, I mean,
Hmm.
I believe what he was accused of because I lived there. It happened to me. And I know how that young woman felt. It's probably why I'm so passionate about it. And even though he's been gone three years in October, to this very day, I am still dealing with the pain and the issues that came up in our marriage. Still dealing with what I believe was my poor response to a lot of things that I could have maybe you know not got so involved in, and maybe not it wouldn't have ended up so bad. But nevertheless, this is a long time to deal with your scars.
Yeah, it really is. I agree with that.
But I there's two people or two podcasts: the Freedom Voice Online,
Hmm.
and then that Agatha May detective. Those
Uh-huh.
are the two. I mean, everybody else I cannot find any fault with out of about 15 or 20, but those two had the most pertinent information that I've found.
Yeah. It's a shame that they cremated her so quickly.
Well, yep. I just
It's a shame that all her
I
family has is
probably
pictures.
yep. I probably would have ended up in jail had I been in that situation because they'd had to take me out kicking and screaming. Of course,
Hmm.
because of my history, I would have had a vested interest in um, in my kid's life as far as the abuse part. I know her family knew that, and they were trying to be nice. They seem to be a much more gentle, kinder group of people than I am.
Well, see, one thing that's been brought to my attention is I think that the law needs changed. Um, that the spouse is not the only one to have control over
Oh
viewing
my gosh,
the loved one. There's
exactly. And do you know that the medical power of attorney that he kept bragging that he had so he could take care of Micah, that was coerced. It was signed, never in front of a notary. The whole document was 100% illegal. And that mental institution should have never acknowledged it.
wow.
And you're right, something should be done. I mean, she was divorcing him. That is what they're using to get all of her possessions back, is that she had made a break, she wanted out. He doesn't need to have any of her things. We want them. They need to come back to her family. You know that they're working on a Micah's law.
Yeah, I seen that. I've been sharing the petition right here with everyone in the
Oh,
chat. Low 12 keeps putting it up. One of our awesome mods right here. See.
okay. I'm going to have to look at your past information because I haven't had a chance, but I'd love to see that petition and sign it.
Yeah.
Because, yes, there's no way for anybody to prove the mental abuse we have. If my husband, called the police and reported me as being abusive, only the second time that I ever fought back. And there was one pinky fingerprint on his face, and I got put in jail. And I had been abused for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And
Change.org.
when the
I
police,
was
what?
Yeah, I was going to tell you real quick a little bit more about that petition if you wanted to know a little bit more about it.
Okay,
Matter of fact, I'll
I'm
sign it
just,
right now while I'm here. Oh, I did sign it. Okay, I can at least uh can share it. See if I can share it again. Yep. Yep, you can still sign and share it, or you can donate. I feel like
okay,
sharing I feel like sharing a lot of times is the best way, even more than donating, because then when you share, it's going to the petition that you believe in. You know what I mean?
right. And that Micah's Law has been just sitting in the background for how many years, since either one small one in 17 and then the rest of them connected to 2019 have been sitting back in some box someplace.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, they are corrupt. Allegedly, I'm saying they are very corrupt.
I think there's the good old boy system
Hmm.
in a lot of places. Um,
Yeah,
you know, um, I think that a lot of times um, we're seeing failures in the legal system in a lot of different cases with a lot of different things, really. And
absolutely.
um, but then again, I mean, with that said, I've noticed there are people out here that believe in different sides of the law. Like I did a petition.
Hmm.
I did a poll and I asked people, do you think that DNA should be used to free people from prison? And everyone said yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, almost everyone said yes. But
Hmm.
then, whenever, like a month later, I did a poll and asked people, do you think It was a Reddit poll. Whenever I asked people if they thought that DNA should be used to prosecute someone, they didn't agree with that. A lot of them.
And
And
then how about
I
asking?
asked them what their argument
Oh,
was. I asked them what their argument was, and do you know what they told me?
what?
Because DNA can just be transferred. We don't know.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah,
used the transfer DNA,
yeah. Well, what I
which is
hear is
interesting. Which is interesting because once again they're using transfer DNA to exonerate people. So I mean, it's just like it's a double edged sword.
exactly,
It's a double edged sword. It
yeah.
really is.
Also, if you ask them, probably, I don't know, 50% of them that I talk to, people, they will not do their DNA. They will not have it done because it could be used against them.
Right.
And that makes me wonder, 50% of my friends are doing something they're ashamed of.
Hmm.
I don't know. But having the DNA has been the most painful, most incredible thing ever happened to our family. I found out that my name is not Bonnie Brewster. And I've spent my life being proud that I was a Brewster that came over on the Mayflower.
Yeah.
Well, my grandma was pregnant with my dad and got married at eight when she was 8 months pregnant. It was a second marriage. And that's not my grandpa. Not not my dad's dad. 3 years later, we find out that my husband was raised.
Athena.
Um,
Well, hello, lovely. Sorry, just giving a shout out to Athena. Good
oh,
to see you, gorgeous.
but my we found out 3 years later that my husband is not who he grew up to think he was.
Yeah.
Because my son's real involved in this ancestry, and it's like you said, it's a two-edged sword.
Yep.
But then again, everybody said, the Facebook was a tool of the devil. Well, it's a two-edged sword too. I mean, look at the good that it does.
I think it
Not all
causes.
bad.
Right, right. I think the social media causes a lot more drama than it does good sometimes. But then sometimes it
Yeah,
does great, wonderful things.
right. Because it gets people riled up
It
and they
depends
start
on who's
thinking for
using it and for what
themselves.
purpose, really. It depends on who's
And
using it and
that
for what purpose.
that's for sure. Another shout out I wanted to give was News Nation, and they really believe that it was a staged death. They don't believe that it was suicide at all.
Yeah.
And they've been around a while, so I respect what they have to say. Do you have any more questions for me?
um. So, what do you think is going to be the overall outcome in the Micah Miller case? Do you think that it's possible that J.P. Miller is going to go to prison on other charges, or do you think he will, in some way, him or possibly multiple people, be held accountable for her death?
Yes, I wanted to mention that. I think that if JP didn't do it and set it up himself,
Hmm.
that this Charles Randall did it to protect him and to protect the name of the church, and protect all of the good old boys. But um, my heart is fighting for justice for Micah.
Yes.
But they
No,
mentioned
that
the
we all
other
do.
day. I know, but that's a big deal for me because sometimes I wake up in the night and it's like I'm missing her. It's like I've
Right.
known her forever, and that
Yeah.
and I just feel like sometimes people are talking that she's just going to come back. That this is all a bad dream. But I back to the question. I heard the other day that Al Capone, a famous gangster,
One of
he
them.
wasn't. Yeah, he was not convicted on some of the worst and most important crimes that he committed. He was put in prison for a long time because of tax fraud.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I've heard that when the FBI investigates, the
Hmm.
percentage of convictions is like in the 95 percentile. And everybody, these people talking did not believe, these podcasters, they did not believe that JP has enough money to fight the IRS, the FBI. And so I just, I just, I just believe that however it turns out, her death was not in vain if it uncovers all this stuff.
I agree with that. I agree with that. At
And
least it
if
would
she's
end.
watching us, if
If
she's
I,
watching us,
yeah.
then she's
Well,
happy.
obviously there's something there because people are like there's a large law enforcement investigation going on in her case.
Oh yeah,
It's huge,
yes,
which is why I
and
think they
yeah, it is
uncovered more. I mean,
exactly. That's why it goes back for years and years and years. And this again, we're back to that Charles Randall. I, I'm the one that. I mean, I've just been finding out about him. He's the one that's most current in my mind. But um, this Agatha, it's mind-boggling the things that she found out. So,
mm.
and oh my gosh, the amount of pedophiles
You
that
do know
worked
that the
in that
police
church.
you do know that the police dropped the investigation into Micah with the $1,999
Yes,
account transfer, right?
absolutely,
They dropped that. They couldn't find any proof
absolutely.
that she did it. That tells you
No,
something. That tells you something right
it
there.
does, and yeah. But the interesting thing is, after she dies, there's ten $1,099 put in her bank
Hmm.
after she died.
Yeah,
So
I didn't know that.
who did that? Huh?
I don't know who did that.
What'd you say?
I don't know. I didn't know anything about that. The 10,999. I just knew about the 1,999. But that is, that's an odd sum, a dollar short of, 11,000
You're right. I don't know what
and
number
a
I just
dollar short
said,
of
but whatever it
2,000.
was. Right. It was a dollar short of exactly what they accused her of, and she was cleared of that before she died.
Yeah.
And then JP preaching from the pulpit that um, she left him after she got out of the mental hospital and took all of their money and went over to Africa. Well, the money she took was the money set aside for the African missions. And since then, nobody has gotten any of the money that they've collected for special offerings.
Mm. Wow.
I mean, I know. I get up every morning wondering what kind of shoe's going to drop for us today. And then her poor parents. I mean, I can't even imagine. My little sister was killed hit and run
Paulette Harris.
when she was when she was 10. And how in the world are those family members keeping their wits about them, trying to fight all this and do all these legal things, and then grieve Mica? And I,
Mhm.
I pray for them every night.
Yeah.
That's the only
I pray
thing
for
we
all
can
the
do.
victims. I pray for all the victims out here. It's becoming a very dangerous world not to educate our children about how dangerous the world is.
Yeah, I worry about that too because we homeschool two of my great grandchildren who live here with me, and I just wonder what it's going to be like when they have to go out into the real world because we live on 5 acres. It's pretty secluded. We have lots of activity, lots of people around, but people of our choosing.
Right.
And so the kids are, protected. But um, it is very scary,
Okay.
very scary.
It's
Your
very
profile
scary.
picture is beautiful, by the way.
Oh, stop! You're making me blush. Don't no. It's
Oh,
just
stop.
it's
Well,
just me. Like,
well, it's
thank you
okay to be
though.
beautiful. There
Oh,
you go. That's what I'm trying to teach the world is if I give you a compliment, then I want you to not throw it someplace else. Just say thank you.
thank you, thank you. It
Yep.
just makes me blush.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, I sorry I made you blush, but you'll live.
Oh, yes, I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. Thank you, thank you.
I wanted to make sure I told you that.
Oh, well, thank you. It made my day. It made my day.
Well, I've enjoyed talking to you.
I've enjoyed talking to you too. Quickly before you go, one more question, and then I'll let you go. I know you probably got other things you want to watch and do, and whatnot. But what other cases are you interested in hearing about here on the channel?
Well, the new one, the young woman who was only married 2 months that was killed. I
Hmm.
just read about that last night, and I don't even know. There's a Mica involved in that, but he's a young man.
Hmm.
Um, do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't. I don't actually.
Doggone it.
I'll tell you what though,
Can I?
if you want to put a message on my community page, I'd be
Okay.
more than happy to look
Uh,
into it for you.
yeah, I'll do that because I just started reading it last night because Silky Silky Southern Tea is another one that's really good, and she read the affidavits and all the information last night, and that's the first time that I had heard about that situation, and it was very good. So yeah, I'll send it to you, and of course
Mm.
the first one I got involved with was the Idaho Four. Do you know about that? The four college students killed in Moscow, Idaho.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My moderators are having a go at each other, and it's hilarious because I know exactly what they're talking about, and they have got me. I
Um,
do completely apologize. They got me completely
it's okay,
distracted on the
honey.
side.
I tell them to cut it out.
Oh, they're
Anyway, the
funny.
Idaho four college students that were killed in Idaho in their sleep within a
Kaylee,
20-minute time.
Kaylee,
Yeah,
Maddie,
yeah,
Xana,
yeah.
and Ethan. Yeah.
Well, one of my young daycare kids that grew up was going to school there. And again, I've been in bed quite a bit with my back and with my leg. And so I watched every minute of everything I could find with them. And that was my first one. And on there, I don't remember if it was Maddie or Kaylee, but she was involved in watching crime cases
Hmm.
and something about a woman that was lost. And she thought she saw him at the grocery store, so she reported it, and they found
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
remember that?
I remember all of that. Um, I
And then
actually
and then the
watched the
parents.
Idaho 4 case very, very closely. And I know right
Oh,
now we're just
good.
waiting for justice, but I got to be honest with you. I think they have their man. I
Well, so
think,
do
I
I.
think I think Brian Koberger,
Crying out.
just from what I know, I mean, just from what I know about, I mean, come on, 51 terabytes. 51
Yes,
terabytes.
yes. I haven't heard about the blood that they found in his room.
Yeah,
I never heard what the
that
testing
was in the
was, but it
probable
turned
cause
out.
affidavit, but we don't know whose
Uh-huh.
blood it turned out to be. Not yet that I've
All
seen
right.
anywhere. I figure all that'll come out during trial. If it was evidence, you know what I'm
Um,
saying? If it was his own blood, um, that's,
well, that could
not
make
really
a
gonna,
difference, yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, that's how I got started watching the crime show, was watching them, hearing her help find that lady, and then the crime show person, the woman that she watched, her parents called and they gave her an interview at home, and it was so touching. So, and then just recently I watched that Wyatt or Watt, that Chris Watt case where he killed his wife and two
Oh my
children.
goodness, Chris Watts, that man. Oh my goodness.
And
Oh
what is
my good.
going
And you
on
know
with the
what?
men in this world?
It's not just men
What?
either. Look at all these mamas out here hurting their
Oh,
babies.
I know. I shouldn't have said that, but
Yeah, it's not just
lately it's
men.
been the men.
Yeah, I think
No,
evil and ill
yeah.
intent is possible in both men and women because we are all human.
Did you
So,
ever, or do you remember? You're probably too young, but Karen Ann Downs that faked carjacking or something, and said that somebody stopped their car and shot her three kids, killed two of them. This was way back, years and years ago, when I first moved to Oregon, and
right.
that haunted me for years, because how could a mother do that to her babies?
I mean, look at
How could a
Su-
mom do that?
Susan Smith.
Oh, dear Jesus, yes. I know. I mean, I just don't. And my sister in law used to read all the books about all these women, and I'm just going on and on. I can't understand. I can't understand. She said, Bonnie, give it up. If you could understand it, you'd be just like them.
Can y'all hear the
How's that?
lawnmower? Can y'all hear the lawnmower in the
No,
background? Okay.
who's mowing?
My son, he's mowing the yard.
Bless his heart.
I didn't even
Well,
ask him to. He was
yes,
like, Mom, I'm going to go mow the yard. Looks a little long. So, yeah, he's mowing the
precious,
yard.
precious kid.
I love
I
my
have a
kids. I think
10-year
they're
old,
amazing, but I'm partial to them. But they are amazing. My
and we
daughter,
should be partial to them.
when I grow up, I want to be like her. She got the Good
Oh,
Citizenship Award last year, and
oh,
she's a very kind, compassionate, goofy, got a great sense of humor
mhm.
person, and she's kind
I've
beyond
got
words.
a 10-year-old granddaughter that is like that. And then I have an 11-year-old, well, great granddaughter, great grandson, and he just graduated yesterday from fifth grade into sixth grade into middle school.
Mhm.
And they're the ones that are homeschooled, and they live in the main house, and I have a little apartment. And he scares me almost every morning. He brings me out coffee. He brings me out breakfast. He brings me out dinner. Because I've been in
Oh,
bed and not able to cook. I
that's
mean, it has
amazing.
been the most, yes, this young man, and he's so shy. I thought his face was going to catch on fire. It was so red yesterday from having to walk up and receive his awards and, all of
Mhm.
the stuff they give him. And, shoot, he was just so nervous. And yet at home, he's just funny and giving and kind and loving. And his older brother and his little sister are precious in their own right also. We are blessed to have children, and
Yes, we are.
blessed
Yes,
to
we
be
are.
able to take care of them and to
Yep.
sacrifice.
Yep. I agree. I agree.
Well, you did say you're going to let me go, and I'm going to let you, because I had two.
I started to say we
I
got
had
way off
two.
in left field over here.
Well, I
Way
had
off.
two steroid shots in my tailbone today,
Oh, bless your heart.
and so yeah, I'm ready to take a long nap.
I bet you are. I bet you are. Well,
But
we'll
I was
enjoy
so
your long nap.
excited. I was so excited. I do have to tell your listeners that yesterday I'm having trouble trying to send you a text. And when
Oh,
I try to edit it, my fingers are too fat. I'm old. I can't figure all this stuff out. And I'm laying here and I just said, gosh, I wish I could just make a phone call, a live chat. And when I looked up, because I had my hand over my head at that time, I
uh-huh.
looked up and there was your flag coming across there with your number.
Well, that's
And I
awesome.
only found you yesterday.
That's awesome. I'm
I
glad to
think,
hear that. We enjoy hearing from our callers and our viewers. We really do. I'm
well,
sorry, go ahead.
I'm your regular from now on.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy to have you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored.
And
I'm honored, Miss Bonnie.
I told my orthopedic doctor today when she gave me my shots. I told her about you, and I've got to send her a text tonight and give her your authentic name and everything so she knows how to find you. But yep, you're doing a good job. I'm proud to have had this opportunity.
Oh,
I
oh,
hope I
well,
passed on some good information because I just
yes.
think it's important that we keep this going.
Yes, it's just amazing how informed you are of the case and how much you've paid attention to the things going on in the Micah Miller case. That's good. That's, you know,
My family,
you can tell
every
it
time I
intrigued
get in the
you.
car with them,
Yep.
what?
Yeah, every time you get in the car with
Uh,
them, what?
Every time I get in the car with them and I start to talk, they said, "Do you have to? Do you have to?" It's just not their bag. It's not anything they're interested in, and so I've learned that I just have to be quiet. And so I'm really happy you let me talk today.
Well, I enjoy being able to give people a voice and hear their opinions and what they have to say in the community. So I appreciate you being a voice in the community and calling in. That's amazing of you. Some people are scared to. I mean, or being willing to, tell their point of view and stuff and be a voice. Some people, aren't comfortable doing that. So it's amazing whenever we find people that are. And Miss Bonnie, you can call back in anytime, anytime. Um,
Thank you, ma'am.
uh don't
I
don't
will.
forget to turn on your notifications so you'll know, when we're live and you'll
I
be able to
did.
give us a call in. Yes, yes.
I
All right,
surely
hun.
did.
Well,
Bye bye.
I'm gonna have to let you go and put it on our intro for a second because I drank all that water. So,
Oh, well, God bless you for your hard work, honey.
all righty. Thank you, and thank you for calling. I mean, being willing to talk and um, be a voice here on the channel and taking my call.
All right. Thank
So
you.
I greatly appreciate you, hun.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye bye. Okay, you guys. I drank a whole bunch of water. Um, uh, give me just right back. Okay, I'm back. I apologize. Wow, I drank all that water. See, my goodness. All right. I told Miss Brady I would call her back, so I'm gonna give her a call back real quick. Let's see here. There she is.
Hello? Hey, yeah. Oh, hey. I'm here. What does he have? Give me. Are you live? What are you doing?
We are live.
Oh, am I live?
Yeah, you're live.
Oh, hey. Hey, everyone.
So I just
What are
had
we
one.
talking?
Well, I just had one caller. Um, that I called me yesterday, and I returned her call today, and we just had a real good long discussion about the Mica Miller case.
Uh-huh.
So I thought I'd call you and ask you what case you wanted to talk about.
Probably the Mica Miller case since I'm going there tomorrow. And I actually, with the Sebastian Rogers, passed all my flyers today.
Oh, that is so awesome.
All of
Brady,
them are
thank you
gone.
so much. Thank you.
Of course.
That makes
But
my
yeah,
heart
so,
feel so good. That makes my heart feel
yeah.
so good to know that people are
Yeah,
passing out the flyers, actually doing it.
I accidentally had one lady and didn't know nothing about the case. It's really sad how much closer this is than Colorado, and
Yeah.
it amazes me how many people don't know about it.
Oh
Just
my
amazes me.
goodness. Oh my
Yeah, and then
goodness.
yeah, but um, what was I gonna say? Sorry, I'm trying to.
You said it amazes you how many people don't know about, of course, the Sebastian
Yeah,
Rogers case. You went and
yeah,
passed out flyers or put
yeah.
flyers out.
And then tomorrow, like I said, I want to take some flowers, and you were saying there's an actual memorial, which makes me happy because I didn't know where I could or couldn't leave them,
Right.
and so that makes me happy. But yeah, and then I've actually heard there's a couple more new cases since I've been gone.
Say a little prayer for me, if you don't mind, when you're at the memorial, that
I
justice and the
absolutely
truth are
will.
found in all of this. I would greatly
I act,
appreciate it.
I absolutely I will. Actually, if when I get time, probably on the way up there, when I buy flowers, I also want to buy a card, and I'm going to do it from all of us. I'm going to sign it from all of us. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. I got a
Oh, you're
notification just now.
oh, you're fine. I, I was saying I'm going to buy a card and I'm going to sign it from all of us.
Oh, oh,
Yep.
Brady, thank you so much. That is so
Yep.
kind of you. That is so kind of
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
I'm going to put all our names on it, and I'm going to put your chat on there, and then I'll try and take some pictures of it.
Oh, that is so sweet. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to see pictures of it. Yeah, that'd be beautiful. Thank you, Miss Brady. Thank you.
Oh, I was on mute. Sorry, I'm over here talking to myself. I don't know what you heard, but I was talking to myself. I was saying I'm gonna get a card and I'm putting all of our names on it and all that stuff. But then I said I'm really sad that I missed all of your chats or all of your things that you've been doing. I didn't realize I've missed so much. I was so sad. And I have a lot of questions for you off of live.
Awesome. Well, you know you can call me. You've got my number.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I have some stuff I need to ask.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We can talk about that. If you want, you can just call me this afternoon after you get settled in. Um,
Yeah. Hold on, son.
he is so
Sorry.
precious. He is so
He's sitting
precious.
here. He's sitting here at the end of a pool. We're at. We just got back to the Airbnb, and I'm gonna put him in the pool.
Oh, he'll love that. He'll love that.
Yeah, he's been such a good boy. I,
Oh,
I shouldn't say that out loud. When I say that out loud, he hears me.
yeah.
So, what have you guys been covering today?
Excuse me. Well, today we've been covering the Micah Miller case. Man, it's happening.
Is there
It's
anything
happening.
new?
Well, one thing we covered earlier today. We covered TikTok Tony.
Tic
Um,
Tac Tony. I heard about his Tic Tac on TikTok.
well, what we covered about Tic Tac Tony or Tic Tac Tony or whatever you want to call him is, um, he he got the Caleb Harris's family uh has fired him essentially, and
Really?
yeah, and do you know what he did allegedly to the Caleb Harris TikTok Find Caleb Harris page?
What's that?
He uh he locked the family out of it, took control over it, deleted everything, and made it the Tony Mathis channel where he is now attacking JRL.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, I wish I was kidding. Allegedly.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of these people bullying everybody else over
They really
trying
do.
to help people.
Yeah.
Trying to find a kid and everybody's fighting and bullying. I don't get
Yeah.
it.
And you know what? That's the reason I've quit covering it because the actual case because I mean I'm still gonna send out flyers and I'm still gonna do my part and share his face, um, that he's missing and stuff. But at the end of the day, I think that he's been lost in all of it, and it breaks my heart. So I'm gonna quit
Yeah,
covering
and
it personally.
I've noticed a lot of people have been pulling back, and it's if Seth doesn't wake up now and see how everybody's pulled away and how he Tony has pushed everybody away. They're running out of
Lat.
people to help for this little boy. And the sad thing is, I hate to say it, but I don't think he's with us anymore. But still, to find him and bring him home where he belongs, it just breaks my heart. But people are giving up because of all the nonsense that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Sadly, the last live I did cover that case, Sebastian Rogers case. I learned things that are going on that in the whole scheme of things that it just all breaks my heart so bad I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. I totally get it. That's like I said today, talking to people and handing out flyers and stuff, and just realizing how many people don't even know the story. And
Don't even
then
know.
so here I'm seeing these people that don't know the story. Like I said, I'm a lot closer now than I was when I was in Colorado.
Right.
But then to know that all these people that were looking and did love him and love him and want to help find him
Mm-hmm.
can't do it because of all the other bull
All
that's
of the
going
other
on.
drama, and he got lost in
Yep.
all of it. Yep.
Yep. Sad. Very sad.
Yeah.
And then
It's
I
very,
heard
very
there's
sad.
a little girl that they're looking for now, a baby.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier today. I do believe her parents have been arrested.
I was watching it. No, you need that to swim. I was watching Pascal this morning or last
Uh-huh.
night. I don't even know. I was tired. I don't even know when I watched it, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's just mind blowing how these people can hurt these innocent children. Like, it just blows me away. It's
Right.
heartbreaking.
Right.
I wish I was the judge and the jury.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
but they'll have to answer one day.
they will, and that's going to be on them.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, low 12, that one. That case right there. The parents have been
Oh, yeah.
arrested in that little girl's disappearance. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So both the parents were arrested?
Uh, I can't remember. I haven't, like, I've seen it a little bit about it, but I haven't dug into it like at all yet because it just broke. Um,
Yeah. I heard that they arrested several people, including the grandfather, but the grandfather was released. But that they were looking in a cemetery or something.
yeah.
And it's just sad. It's just sad because it's like that. Why are they looking in the cemetery? What do they know that we don't know already that they're looking in a cemetery?
Yeah.
Just like they were looking in the landfill for Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
They know something.
They also looked in the landfill for that one little baby boy. Oh, that adorable little dark-headed little boy. Oh my goodness. Elijah View. Elijah View.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, they did a landfill search for him too.
Wow.
And then of course we know how the landfill search eventually ended in um Quentin Simon case.
I have a question. So a while back, like when this all first started, whatever, I know they searched the landfill for Sebastian, and they said it was a different landfill because of there was reasons for it, and then
Uh-huh.
they searched the closer landfill. But then I also heard that the landfill where the area, I guess, where that there was a fire randomly. Is that true?
I don't know. I do not know.
Yeah, I heard there was and I'm like, well, how convenient is that?
True.
Yeah, I heard something like that. And I kept saying the other night I was in another room listening, and I was listening, and I kept saying this was like 3-4 nights ago, and we were talking about. I know you're not talking about the Sebastian case, but we were talking about the Sebastian case, or they were talking about the Sebastian case, and I kept saying in there the night, because they're like, why couldn't anybody see the night he went missing? I heard this a long time ago. The Proudfoot's house, they made a blackout. They turned off every single light there was. And everybody, oh, that's not true. That's not true. I never heard that. I never heard that. Kept saying that. And then all of a sudden last night I was listening in a couple of rooms again. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, did you know there was a blackout? Yes, I've been saying that. They turned off all the lights so nobody could see anything.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going in. Like I said, I'm not covering it, anymore, particularly
Yeah.
because of all the drama surrounding it. And to be
Yep.
honest,
Hi,
until law
Chris. Glad you're
enforcement comes
here.
out and says anything else, we really everything at this point until law enforcement comes out and says anything is hearsay. So, and I'm just
Did
gonna.
you see JP's tattoo?
Did I see what?
JP's tattoo?
J.P. Miller?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so do you remember when he was talking about her having his name tattooed on her person? Yeah. She had a tattoo with his name on it. Okay. And
Oh, okay. I didn't know that though.
supposedly they had gotten into one of their fights, and she had left him, and she tattooed over it with something else. And then supposedly she got his name again. And her parents or family are saying that to him that was like branding her, like you belong to me, da 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 da. Okay, so randomly now he came out. I don't know if it was last night. I think it was last night I seen it. He has a new tattoo, but he's saying it's old, but it's on his side, I guess, where hers was, like on his rib cage. And it's not big, but it's a tattoo, and it has her name, her signature, copied her signature, whatever. And he's trying to say that, he's trying. That was like, oh, well, her parents are saying this, but why would I have her name then too? No, that I almost cussed. That's a new tattoo because if you look at it, pay attention when you do see it. He stands. Fred, come here. You pull up. He pulls up his shirt and he tilts to the side. And looking at it closely, you can see the shininess of the ointment when the tattoo's new. I know I like tattoos. And so that's a new tattoo. So he's probably getting that just to try and make himself not look as guilty. And then, wait, did you want to ask me questions or am I just rambling like I always do?
No, you're fine. I'm getting your take on things that you've seen and heard right now on the Mica Miller case. So go ahead.
Okay, so there's also, if you listen to him closely on that same clip when he's running his mouth, he also says a couple of things that makes you go, So on one part of there, he says that we're going to find who did this to Mica. Did what? I thought she did it to herself. What are you talking about? Who did what? What do you mean? Okay. Why are we now all of a sudden, why is there somebody that did it? He's changing his story. And then he also says, what is it that he says? We're going to find who did this to my wife. And I'm trying to think what else he says. Whatever he says, he's making himself sound more and more like he's making up stuff as he goes along. Like, I think that the guy, and that's just my opinion because there's a lot of people who believe, oh, don't talk about the fisherman. He didn't do nothing. That whole thing's fishy to me. And if you want to know what I think about the money that he counted in her purse, I'll tell you. If you don't, I won't tell you. But I have my own little thinking about that.
Yeah. I can hear Elias enjoying the water. So
he's got his little feet splashing.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna let you go then, and
Okay.
let you get to having that family time. Give my love.
I will.
God bless you, Bray. Thank you
I'll
for.
talk to you guys soon. Love you too. Bye.
Bye. Oh, everybody, give it up for Miss Bratty, little Miss Bratty. She's so awesome. We appreciate everyone here on the channel, you guys. And it's good to actually get to be able to return you guys' phone calls and hear what you guys have to say on these different cases. So hey, well, you said you were gonna call in earlier and talk about the Mica Miller case, I do believe. You still gonna do that? I'd love to hear what you have to say. If I do I have the phone, yeah, I've got the phone lines up. If y'all want to call in, go ahead and give us a call in. But just in case, that is going to be the extent of our calls today. I do want to take a moment right now to share something with all of you. As you know, trying to get the word out about many different missing people. And today, I would like to share a missing persons case. Okay. Let me pull up the detail sheet on it. This little girl, her name is Ariana Fitz. She has been missing, okay, since 2016. They say that she is a Where's her age on here? It doesn't give her age. Okay. She has black hair. She is 2 foot tall at the time of disappearance. She is female. She's American. She was born in California. Her eyes are brown. She weighed 45 pounds at the time of disappearance. Her race is black. Ariana Fitz was reported missing from the San Francisco, California area on April the 5th of 2016. She was last seen in Oakland, California in January or February of 2016 on April the 8th of 2016. Ariana's mother, Nicole Fitz, was found murdered in a. Give me just a second. Well, I'm reading the last of this missing person flyer, and then I'll put you through. Okay. Just trying to keep people's stories out there, especially some of the old cases. You know what I mean? It says, I'll start that over again on the details. Ariana Fitz was reported missing from the San Francisco, California area on April 5th, 2016. She was last seen in Oakland, California in January or February of 2016 on April the 8th, 2016. Ariana's mother, Nicole Fitz, was found murdered and buried in a public park in San Francisco. It is believed that Ariana was not with her mother when she was killed. So, when her mother was killed, they don't believe that she was with her. If you have any information concerning this person, please contact your local FBI office or the nearest American embassy or consulate. Field office, San Francisco. And then if you guys look closely, let me see if I can. We'll zoom in here to her photos. Oh, and this is her age progression to age 8, you guys. All right. And I am going to post the link to this really quick for you guys um, in the chat. And then we're going to patch Mr. Lat through. Lat, Walt. um, okay. How do I? Um, hey, Lat. Let me call you right back through Google, but so that way I don't want to dox your phone number. Okay. All right. Let me call you right back as soon as I get the screen pulled up to where I can hear. Okay. All right. There we go. Here we go. This is how we'll do it. And then I'll go back over here. And then we will give our awesome mod Willette a call back.
What, Harris?
We meet again.
Yeah, it is. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah, how about that? Hey, it's been a good show so far. Hey, I wanted to kind of talk about, you were talking about
Welcome,
the
Jerry.
Riley Strain, yeah, that Riley Strain case and all that.
Uh-huh.
It just seems kind of like, I don't know, they're not really talking about putting up netting or any kind of barriers there in Nashville, are they? 'Cause I mean, that takes a long time to get down there to even be by the river, right? It's not like I mean, I've been down to that town, and it's nothing even front of mind. You know what I mean? If you're going to go down there, you're working to get down there.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I do believe they are planning on putting barriers up now. They're in the city.
See, that's a mistake. I mean, really, I think it comes down to, well, I think it comes down to more just controlling people. I mean, if they can't control people, then, you know, maybe you got to get rid of nuisance bars or whatever. But to sit there and like actually, for lack of a better word, I mean, a better term rather, you're creating, you know, visual pollution where people can't even look at a river or go down. And I mean, at some point you I don't know how to put it. It's not a, it's a public, it's a public area, right? And so it's not like it's, I don't know. I just think I think it's a bad precedent. I mean, I couldn't see them doing that here in Pittsburgh. They've had this river walk. They've had it in here since, I want to say like when they built the PNC Park, and I'd say like 2001.
Uh-huh.
They've had this river walk in front of the stadium, and there's bars and stuff there. But
Right.
even in that situation, for people to actually, run into the river, I mean, you're going to have to, you'd have to walk down steps, and I mean, I don't know, unless I'm thinking of something completely different. I just remember being on, I forget what the name of the road is in Nashville, but to me, it's a long way down to get down there. Is it Broadway? From Broadway, and like, I don't know. That just kind of surprises me that they'd want to even be thinking about that. I mean, it's one thing if you go into a sporting event and they're trying to put netting up and so you won't get hit with a baseball or something, but something other than that, I kind of don't get it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's
The only
other cities
reason,
that do it, but I can't think of any.
well, there are, Memphis, Tennessee has barriers to where you can't just get down on the, like where the nightclubs and stuff are. They have barriers up where you can't just like go in the
Well,
river
I'm
if
thinking of
you're
like New
drunk.
Orleans. I mean, there's no barriers there, right? You could just kind of, I mean, you could, when I remember, again, when it comes to rivers, anybody wants to swim in a river, or I mean, you have to be pretty drunk. It's like, I mean, they have Alcosan here. It's basically the sewers in the river. For whatever
Right.
reason, people still swim in it. But
Here's the problem though with the Cumberland River right there. It's not even that it's not even that they don't have barriers. They created the problem whenever they put the main forefront of the city on the river with their entertainment district.
yeah, but most good cities do that, right? I
No.
mean, I got to be honest. Like, I think they should. I mean, we have different parts of town here where I'm at, and they don't take advantage of the riverfront. To be honest with you, I mean, this could be one of the worst riverfront cities in America. I'm here in Pittsburgh. They just don't do anything with it, and I think that's a huge mistake. I mean, the places that do things with their downtown, like Cincinnati, for example. I mean, they have the riverfront there. They have a lot of things going on. The river is actually part of the enviroscape of just kind of basically what the city's about. I don't know. To me, I mean, I don't even think. I think of Nashville. I don't think of the Cumberland River. I just think of country western bars and parties and that stuff like that. But
Right.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not from there. But yeah, I think putting up netting and all that. It's just. I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, then you're going to have people go down there, and they're going to start throwing trash into the netting, and that's going to look terrible, and the netting's going to look ratty, and unless they plan on replacing it, like you'd have to replace that probably twice a year. What's that going to cost?
But there are places along that riverfront that are, Front Street and in the industry, in the corridor of the town where you have drunk people walking every night. And
I
this
mean,
let's be real. How many bodies have they pulled out of the Cumberland River this year? And
I put enough. They've had a
all
good
of these
run.
accidental drownings. Yeah, they've had a good run of
Yeah.
drownings this year.
Well, you have different
And there are
spurts of
places
things
where
that going
there's
on
no
here. I mean,
barrier. That's where I have the problem with that. There are places with no barrier whatsoever.
yeah, but at some point, I don't know. Like, you can't adjudicate the idiotic. If they're going to go get so plastered and so hammered that they're jumping in a friggin' river, I mean, there's nothing that anyone's going to do, even if they put a barricade. You know what I mean? What kind of barricades are going to be? I mean, is the netting really going to? I mean, I just can't see it. I just can't see it. I mean, and the cost to do that would be. I mean, again, I've never been through there. Maybe they could hook it up fairly easily, but I couldn't imagine the cost of trying to do that and maintain it. I don't know. To me, it's just. I mean, you feel bad for these people when they pass away and stuff like that, but we kind of try to. We almost like. Turn them into deities or something. Like, hey, this guy by and large, and I do feel bad for what happened to him, right? But
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
kind of
in
might have
reality,
made a
we're
poor
only
judgment and got
talking.
hammered and jumped in a river. I mean, I
In
don't know.
reality, though, we're only talking about a mile, a mile and a half of fencing or netting, either one.
Well, that's enough. I mean,
Yeah.
I just, I mean, that's more than enough. I don't know. I just don't see it. You know, what happens if they want to do further develop? I don't know if there's anywhere else to develop on that river, or if they even plan on doing it. And then you got netting there. I don't know. It's just, you know, would you, if you went to, I mean, there's Niagara Falls there, north of where I live. I mean, I'm sure people could hop over Niagara Falls and jump to their death. I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but they're not going to go putting up, you know, netting and different things so people can't see out of there. You know, it's even I even
I
seen
could
things
have
where,
sworn they did put up netting because someone got swept off that deck.
unless it, you know what, maybe one of those stupid boat rides that people go on, maybe. You know, but as far as like just looking over the falls, I don't think that, you know, they don't have anything. I mean, even we got in Pittsburgh, we have the second best a view off of coming out of the second best view in the entire country. The number one view is actually up on a mountain in Tucson, but up on this place called Mount Washington, they have these little things that you can walk out on and take pictures of the city. Now, you know, I mean, if you saw you'd probably be in horror if you saw how they have it
Yeah,
secure. It's
well,
not really secure. It's just all it is just like fencing up and down. It's nothing real big, you know.
right. You want to hear something about me that's probably going to make you laugh?
What's that?
I'm one of those people, if I'm going to go and look over the edge, I have to be on my hands and knees because I'm
Why are you
scared.
afraid of heights? Or
No, I'm not afraid of heights. What it is I get vertigo.
oh, okay, yeah, my buddy gets that. Yeah, he gets
Yeah,
that.
I get vertigo, and because I know I get vertigo, um, I don't want to fall off. So I'm that person that has to be on my hand. Now I'm willing to look over the edge. I want to look. I'm curious, but
Yeah,
because I get vertigo, I usually crawl like on my hands and knees to the edge to look over. That way I'm stable and I know I'm not going to fall from vertigo.
yeah. Well, I mean, in this case, you know, you'd probably. I don't know if it would go well with you. I mean, they literally have it's just like an iron like you see on if you're walking up somebody's steps to go in somebody's house. That's basically what they have. It's nothing like some huge barricade or huge barrier or anything else. But yeah, I don't know. It all comes down to I don't know responsibility and you know I guess you know people are going to do what they're going to do. I don't know. I mean, I realistically, how many? They're not talking about 30 people dying in this river,
Yeah,
are
it's a
they?
high number. It's a high number. There's been a lot of
I
bodies
mean,
pulled out of the Cumberland River since the beginning of the year. Hold on a second.
yeah.
Let me see if I can look this up real quick. We'll see exactly how many. Um,
Because I feel a lot of times, especially in true crime. I mean, how long did we go on and on about those people in Kansas City and like, oh, the
oh
chiefs,
my
they should,
goodness.
you know, they should wear a you know sash on their jerseys for these guys. I mean, and it turned out to be like three dudes who just overdosed, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, I'm sorry for their families, but like at the end of the day, it's not even a news story. It's just whatever, right? And what it turned out to be. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of times and I'm not ripping on you know, I mean, those who die, I mean, obviously are unalive, I guess you want to say. You know, it's sad, but like at the end of the day, I mean, it shouldn't really change the arrangement that society has with, you know, especially things like, you know, looking at things or like a viewpoint or even the case of, you know, these people that died of the drug overdose. I mean,
Right.
you know, we're not going to celebrate that. I guess that's at the end of the day. It's kind of like, and I'm not saying putting up netting is a celebration of it, but it's even like a head nod towards it. Like, yeah, this is a problem. We can't control people, so we're going to put netting up. I mean,
I don't
even
think so much it's I don't think it's so much as controlling people because I mean, there are so many river access points that can be utilized at any time. I just think for the sake of if they're going to have, and then this is my opinion, but I respect yours too. I think if they're going to have factors along that riverfront that are going to add to the drownings, which they have, then they, and even maybe if they even just put a tax on the bars, put a tax on the bars to have to, pay for the netting and stuff, since they are creating a more, dangerous environment. They really are.
I mean, how far are we talking? Like, how far are the bars from? I just remember there being that huge bridge, right? But then it was a pretty far way down to get down. As far as I remember, maybe I don't remember it as
Like a
much as I
mile,
think.
like maybe a mile and a half of knitting,
Yeah.
just right there along the front where people are drinking and
No.
walking along the
I'm saying.
riverfront. That's all I'm talking about.
So is it right? Because what I remember
And it
is
would
there was
only have
like,
to be on one side too, really. It would really
okay,
only have to be on one side because it's like a mile or so down where Riley fell. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like allegedly, where they think he fell in. So
they think he fell. So they don't even know. That's the thing. I
yeah,
don't know. It just seems like, yeah. Again, I mean, it is what it is. It's probably crazy, like how Vegas used to be crazy. It's not as crazy as it was. Nashville's kind of getting that. You're kind of getting that. That description of kind of what they are now, and that's. I don't know. It's to me, it just seems like a bad idea. I don't know. The more and more we try to, I don't know, rein in the stupidity of people and the poor judgments, I just feel like it takes away certain freedoms and rights that other people should have. And I'm not one of those, protect my rights and take my guns and all that stuff. I don't even have one. But I just think at the end of the day, we shouldn't celebrate people. Not even celebrate. We shouldn't even acknowledge people doing things that shouldn't even result in different changes and stuff of public policy. In my opinion, I don't know.
right. Well, I agree. I agree. So, do you want to go over? I did some polls. Thank you, Queen, for the idea. You guys, if y'all haven't, go check out the Volt XL. Um, I love Miss Queen. She is something else. She will give it to you straight and keep you in stitches the whole time while she's doing it. Um, I really like Queen. So I got this idea from her and realized there's polls that I can be engaging the community in. So will that um I'm gonna ask you these questions and you can tell me, I'll give you the responses if you haven't already taken these polls. And I'd just like to see what you think, and then I'll tell you what the poll results are. And if there are any comments, I'll read you the comments, okay?
Oh, okay, sounds good.
Okay. So, do you think charges are coming against Jen Soto, and her daughter Madeline's death? The options were yes, no, maybe, and she should have already.
He probably should have already, but I mean, yeah, I'd say yes, they're coming, but I just say yes.
Okay. Um, so 47% said yes, 24% said no, 12% said maybe, and 18% said she should have already. So we'll add them with the yes category. And that puts us at, let's see, 3 plus 2 is 5.
65%.
Yep,
Well, I'm surprised that last one
65%.
was so low because really, that to me, that probably should have been a little higher. I mean, I would have thought it'd been a little higher.
Yep.
Last
Well, we
year.
actually have a comment on that, so I'm going to read it real quick. Um, Natalie E says, nope, I think prosecution wants her as their star witness. It's unfortunate, as I think she too should be charged.
Yeah, you're
I can
probably
agree
right.
with that. Yeah, I can agree with that. All right. So, question number 2 for you. Was Tony Mathis wrong to change the TikTok page to Tony Mathis after gaining subscribers using Caleb Harris's name involving his disappearance? The answers are yes, no, I think it was criminal, and it was his TikTok page to do whatever he wanted.
I would just say yes. I mean, it's obviously in poor taste. I mean, but again, I don't think there's anything illegal that he did. Of course, I don't know the rules of, you said Facebook, right? I don't know the rules of Facebook if that would be illegal.
No, it was his TikTok page. It was the TikTok
TikTok
page.
page.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's in poor taste.
he
I
had
would just
over
say yes.
he gained 10,000 subscribers in um in Caleb Harris's name, literally, and
Well,
then changed it over
that
after the
beats
family
paying
member.
for him like that beats paying for him like other creators. So that's good, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's in poor taste.
Well, 83% said yes, they agree with you. 8% said no, and 8% said I think it was criminal, and zero say it was his TikTok page to do what he wanted.
Wow, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yep. So the next poll question: is Tony Mathis likely to be removed from PR in other cases he is currently involved in? The options were I hope so, definitely, and not likely. Which one for you?
The weird one, I'd probably say not likely because here's the deal. So as much as he's a firestorm for public opinion and people will hate him and get all mad about him or whatever, they are paying attention to him, right? And so at the end of the day, obviously nobody condones his behavior. I mean, notwithstanding kind of what he showed on his camera the other night, allegedly. Um, yeah, I mean, I would say probably no. I would think. I mean, I think he'll probably continue doing them just because he's like a lightning rod just for opinion, and you know what? And he's got people know him, and it's kind of just what it is. I mean, if I had a missing child, I would probably keep him on, which is crazy to think, even from a PR perspective. It's a disaster, but because he's so goofy, he kind of it keeps the spotlight on
Right.
your child is missing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with that, but I think he's also um I mean, if he did this to Caleb Harris's TikTok page, and lock the
Well,
family out, what's he going to do to that other person or the other people he represents if
yeah,
they decide they
I'm
no longer want to work with him? That's like, I don't know. I just think it's low. I think it's
well, yeah, I'm confused how it hasn't been removed yet. I mean, other than what I just said, maybe that's like with Seth or whoever's
yeah,
kind of thinking about it. Yeah, it's surprising to me because like, yeah, I mean, to me, I mean, from a PR standpoint, I mean, you can see it in a number of different ways. It's a disaster. He's a
yeah,
disaster. But again, it's all about clicks and views and making sure that your client, and in this case, Sebastian, I guess, continues to be seen, right? And so that's in these other, in also the other Harris kid.
right.
Uh, yeah.
Well, I'm going
So
to
that,
read the
but that's
results to you. I'm going to read the results to you real quick. Um, 60% said I hope so. 20% said definitely. So that's, and 20% said not likely.
yeah. So I mean,
So,
the 20% is pretty high. I thought I knew my answer probably wasn't going to be the right one,
so
but
that
that
kind
I
of
mean,
says like 80% agree with him needing to be fired, basically.
yeah. I mean, in a perfect world, you would. But again, it's all different, right? You've got so many different entities and so many different stories fighting for coverage of traditional media. I mean, these missing kids cases, you never hear about them, and if you do, it's pretty hit or miss. I mean, News Nation would be about the only one that really covers it, and so you
Right.
got to do something to try to keep your kid in the public eye.
I agree.
And I mean, I hate to say it, but this guy kind of does it. I mean, I think he's a horrible
Even though he
person.
does it in the sleaziest, most awful ways possible, I agree with that. He does.
Yeah, and that's like
I don't
what they
like the
say.
guy personally, and I think he's a clout chaser, and I think he's a con artist and a scammer. That's my own personal opinion of him, but that's
Yeah.
just my opinion.
Well, I don't
Um,
disagree.
right. I asked people, do you think Caleb Harris's family was right to fire Tony Mathis? What do you think?
It's just yes or no.
Yeah. Yes
Sure.
or
I mean,
absolutely no or not sure.
oh, absolutely. Well, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Free will. Remember, I'm the guy that doesn't want the netting put up in the middle of the city. Yeah. So I mean, they got the option to do whatever. I mean, it was within their wheelhouse to do it, and
All
probably the
right.
the right decision, I'd say.
Yeah. You know what? I'd say everyone agreed with you because absolutely is the 100% response answer.
Wow.
Yeah. Was Tony Mathis green screen fail intentional? The options are yes, no, and it's not real.
I would say no. He could have just been taking a piss or something. You know what I mean? I mean, it isn't. Well, who knows? I mean, look at Jeffrey Tubin. That's the easiest one I can kind of compare it to, and that
I
was
know nothing
considerably
about that.
worse. Oh, you didn't? Well,
No.
he was at CNN. He's their legal correspondent, and he worked for the New Yorker, I think, and so I think it was New Yorker. He was they were on a conference call on either Teams or Zoom, and he thought he had his camera off. Well, he started, with himself, and his camera wasn't off, right?
Right.
And so those kind of things do happen. I mean, Jeffrey Tubin actually got brought back, which is kind of crazy because like he's the one that had an affair. He had an affair while he was married. Tried
Hey,
getting
Alan, good to
the
see you. Sorry, Sorry, I was just saying,
no,
hey, Alan.
no, and then he tried getting the mistress to have an abortion. It was just crazy. But they, at CNN, New Yorker kept him for that, and while that was going on, and CNN did. They hired him shortly thereafter. So, no, I don't think so. I don't think it was. I don't think it was. Is this a full question or just like an opinion?
Independent question. That was it.
No.
That was full.
Yeah.
That was all of them. That was actually all my polls I put up today. That I was curious what people, where they stood with things. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me on. I hopefully didn't take up too much of your time.
No. I really enjoy hearing feedback from the community and stuff. Sometimes it's nice to even have people challenge my thoughts and what I think. You know what I mean? Because I do see your side of it. Putting a fence up like that and maintaining it is going to be very costly. Do I think that
Yeah,
it's
it's just
possible through a tax and a tax or something that it could be paid for? Absolutely. Um, but I'm with you. I don't think that all of it should just be netted off and people not allowed to get down there and stuff. I just think right there, um, in the area closest to the river where there's a lot of drinking and partying going on intentionally. I mean, those are establishments, for people to get drunk. It's their bars,
yeah.
you know.
I mean, and I will say, I do maybe agree with you on the side of the taxing the alcohol, and I think it wouldn't be as much of an issue, and in a place like Nashville because it's a destination place. Some of these cities will do it. I mean, they did that here. They could have put a 10% tax on alcohol on top of 6%. It did affect people, and this was like 10, 15 years ago when the economy was going good. I couldn't see people now trying to sit down to have a drink and pay all that extra money in tax. I'm sure they do it, but it definitely did hurt city bars and that sort of thing. Because it's in the city here, it wasn't anywhere else, like a county thing. So it definitely did affect, or maybe it wasn't the county, but it definitely did affect people going out and buying drinks and that sort of thing. But a place like Nashville, no, you're right. People would do it, and they do it.
I mean, if you
Without
just
even
put a
thinking about
penny
it.
tax on every drink, that would pay for it. I promise you it would. In a
Yeah,
place like that where they're, I mean, just absolutely slam packed every weekend. Yeah, I think so. I think
you'd have to make it. You'd have to make it worth their while, though. I'm sure that they could put a tax on it, and then so much would go to public transportation, so much would go to libraries, so much would go to different things. And that's usually what they do with these. They call them sin. I think they call them sin taxes. I don't know. They still have them. So they would probably do it. I mean, something like that would make sense. If they had to do it, I just think it's a bad idea.
we pay a sin tax here in Arkansas on even gasoline.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree with you there. But
Okay.
I tell you what, it's almost been 2 hours again. I tell you what, when I get on here and start talking, I just can't shut my face.
No, that's good. You were on twice today, so I enjoyed being a moderator. Hopefully, I didn't say anything too stupid.
Well, Walt, I still call you Willat. It's out of habit. I'm so sorry, Walt. I gotta admit, I love the way you keep chat engaged. It is so, sometimes whenever we're talking about some of the worst stuff, it's so refreshing to look over there and see you engaging with someone else in something that's a little more lighthearted than maybe the topic on hand. And you really do keep a lot of our audience engaged, and I appreciate you moderating for me,
Yeah.
man. It's good to
Okay,
hear
thanks so
your
much. I appreciate it.
yeah, you're good at it. You're a good moderator.
Hey, thanks. I'm a male moderator. A male moderator emeritus, actually.
Right? How many
Right.
of them are there in true crime? I haven't seen, but maybe one other or two other male moderators.
Male mods. Yeah, and the one's just I think he's just there to pick up women, from what I remember.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my goodness. I know who you're talking about. I know
Yeah,
who you're talking
right.
about. Yep. Yep.
sorry, sorry, nameless.
Creepy dude. Super
Yeah.
creepy dude.
So,
Super creepy.
all right. Well, have a good night. I thanks for taking my call.
Yeah. I appreciate you calling. So
All right. Thank you.
good night, Walt.
Yeah, you too.
Good
Yeah.
night. Bye. All right, you guys. If y'all haven't gone and signed the petitions, you can go back and you can find the link all throughout the chat. Um, if you haven't become a member and you would like to join and help support the channel, um, you'll get access to the members only Discord as well. Um, and we do all kinds of stuff in there. Been kind of busy lately and haven't been getting to do as much as I want to. Um, Friday night, um, or you know what? We'll start it tonight. And we'll start with the first Dune movie, and we'll play both of the Dune movies tonight for those who haven't seen them on the members only um, Discord. But we are going to have a subscribers Discord soon, and that'll be just to talk true crime, and we'll show true crime shows and stuff in there. Um, but the members only is where we all, like come together and hang out and kick it and talk and everything else. And we have a good time. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys being here. Um, I'm gonna put this information back up here um, real quick, and then I'm gonna say my. Let me start that again. I'm a goofball. All right. And that was the information for the National Child Abuse Hotline to make reports and do the right thing if you see someone in need, a child in need. We care about our kids here. You guys, it has been a wonderful, wonderful time taking all of your calls and having all of you be a voice in the community. I greatly appreciate it. It was good to have a day where we got to talk to the community more. Um, and hopefully, um, I don't know why I have the breaking news banner up there. Goofy. Um, hopefully we get to do this maybe like once a week and stuff. We're starting trivia night back up Friday. Friday we're going to be doing trivia night or Saturday. We might do it Friday instead of Saturday. It just depends. Y'all know I'm a family person and I got a lot going on with my family sometimes. Um, Gonna keep sending up prayers for everyone. You guys stay vigilant and lock your doors, lock your windows. Um, Keep an eye on your home and the people around you. We are our own first line of defense whenever it comes to our families. The cops can only call after you call them, you guys. And by then, you're already in trouble or you already need them. There's a need for them. That's why you call. So, with that said, share a smile and save a life. You never know. The life you save might just even be your own. And with that said, thanks for joining us. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share if you haven't subscribed on your way out. But definitely hit that like if you can. I greatly appreciate it. Um, Something so small to you, but it's something very big for us. So I greatly appreciate your support and for watching. And I will see you guys later. Mhm. Bye. Blessings and good night.